Well, we have Fancy and a Gentleman here this morning on WNCW. It's time for another couple songs before we wrap it up. What do you want to do next?
Would love to. Yeah, this next song is my favorite off the album. It's called Garden Song. Divine rain in a little old town, can't be tamed when it's coming down to this secret garden on holy ground. Go find you a stage and make a Carolina mountain bound. Met a songbird a while driving round. Once was lost, but now homeward bound. He's been all over and he knows the sound of divine rain coming down. He knows my name and he knows this town. Can't be tamed and he sings so loud. I am this garden and I am this town. I am here now. Can't get dry standing out in the caught in the eye of a hurricane. So you fly real high, but keep your feet on the ground. Go find you a stage and make a Carolina mountain sound. If you miss me, I'll be around. Come sing with me the sweetest sound. I'll be in the garden and I'll be around. Growing free here in a Carolina mountain town.
That is the Garden Song from Fancy and a Gentleman here on WNCW. On your new album, you got a dozen songs there. What makes that one your favorite, Fancy?
Ooh, interestingly enough, like it was my least favorite. The night before we were going in to record, I was thinking, man, I'm gonna drop that song, and something about it just didn't feel right. And then I changed like half the lyrics, right? Especially the second verse, just something that felt really, really true for me right in the moment. Thinking about a friend who was heavy on my heart at that time, and it just changed everything, which, goes to say you just never know what's going to happen in the artistic process.
Yeah, and that was my favorite one to record.
Yeah.
Because I remember you guys were going crazy in the listening room, the studio, and for that solo section, I was like, okay, Alex, this it was like the newest material. I was like, try to be like I was like, got to be emotionally vulnerable so you can allow the creativity to kind of come in to the room. So that solo that ended up on the album was like completely improvised.
Yeah.
So when we started playing it live, I was like, oh, I got to listen to that and relearn it and go back. But it came out of nowhere. And that was like the newest track. And it ebbed and flowed so well. It was
Yeah.
so much fun. Like everyone was losing their mind in the studio when we were doing that
We really
track.
were. You had never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I could tell you were just like really leaning into exactly what I try to do with my music, which is just like open up to vulnerability and just be strong and bold about
Yeah,
it.
and then
Yeah.
there's a slide guitar solo on it, on the record that Phil killed it on.
Yeah, by Phil
That
Ellie.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
Phil Ellie?
Phil
Allie,
Ellie.
yeah.
Phil, okay, right.
He played electric guitar and pedal steel as well. He's a monster. He's
Yeah.
great.
Well, now I want to listen to it again to hear like your solo and to hear the second verse and to wonder, speculate on what the original second verse was maybe about, or maybe that doesn't matter, but just to kind of ruminate on that. When did that second verse come about? Was that like right before you all went
Yeah,
in?
literally the night before we
Okay.
were about to go into Echo Mountain. Yeah.
Funny how that happens, isn't it?
Totally.
Just the muse just kind of speaks to you. And then, for Alex, it's interesting to hear you talk about, okay, how is my instrumentation going to reflect what the singer is singing about?
Oh, absolutely. Because especially too, as an instrumentalist, you have to be like an antenna and like serve like the greater truth
Yeah.
like that, and like that takes a lot of like you got to be really vulnerable and at the right moment like that. I mean, all the time. I'm vulnerable all the time.
Good.
We really are in the band. We go deep. We're close.
We had a
like
deep
like any
conversation on
good
the way.
family is,
Yeah. People think of like, oh, a honky tonk band. They're just going to sing about George and Tammy and just having a good time on the dance floor, and that's it. Very
Yeah.
Surface,
well, that's why I have to,
superficial.
throw the names in there to, you got to satisfy people.
Yeah,
But
that's right. Yeah.
I mean-
but really, what I'm singing about is like opening up my heart.
Totally. And even that stuff really means a lot to me, because that's how I grew up. And there is something really grounding and emotional about the original honky tonk artists, But I would say, my theme and motto through the music really is like, I think you can't go wrong when you just say honestly what you feel and say it with love. Whatever you're doing, just say it with love. Yeah.
I can get behind that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So are all these songs kind of real recent ones too? Or-
No, some of these span back all the way to like 2009.
Okay.
I've had different like versions of them, and yeah.
Yeah. Well,
2009.
congrats on getting it together.
Thank
It's
you.
called Separate as We Seem from Fancy and the Gentleman.